Take two. Take two. Okay, it didn't work the first time. Now here we go again. So you've missed my sweeping view of the beach today. Everything's green. Everything's getting really green. We had so much rain yesterday. Hi, Morgan. We had so much rain yesterday. Like 40 mils or something. Like it was full on. Like all the pots on my deck have got, you know, a foot worth of water sitting in them. And we've all woken up today to this green landscape, which is so unusual down here. It rained all day yesterday, and it pissed down rained. People are out there sailing. Rub it in. It was so lovely to get some rain because we just don't. But I mean, my water tank was overflowing, which always breaks my heart. I was doing so many loads of washing. I had 2 showers yesterday. I even thought about having a bath. And but at least I kept thinking, well, all right, if it's overflowing, at least I'm going to end up with a lawn. And I've got green grass at my house today too. But it wasn't a day to go for a walk or anything. Like, it was pissing down. So look at the sky. Hi, Lady Pegasus. It got to 21 today, so it wasn't like a really hot day, but it's nice. I've got a little skirt on and a little lightweight sweater, and I'm a bit warm, but that's all right in my sweater. I did think about going back to Red Ochre, the really quiet beach I went to the other day, because a lot of us were all in the same boat, you know, needing to get out and exercise. So there's been quite a few people on the beach. Everyone's been really good at social distancing. Ivor, g'day. And Reese too, hello. Someone normal, I've been arguing with some woman on the tarot card stream. Well, you don't need to worry about that here. Being ganged up on by crazy old women. Reese, I feel so sorry for you. That's a tale of woe right there. And hi, Ivor. Torag, watching them from my bed eating pizza. Well, good on you too. So yeah, I think just with the beautiful day today and not being able to go for a walk yesterday. G'day. I would, well, I need to go for a walk. I was, you know, itching to, and I've been studying for some of the day and catching up with some people and organising some Zoom gatherings and whatever. And it's just such a gorgeous afternoon. Hello, Raven at our treasure chest. Greetings and welcome. Don't listen to Ivor calling me Torag. Tori the Torag. But yeah, everything's so green. I feel like I've woken up in a tropical bloody jungle. It's gorgeous. Like, people are getting green lawns back, and I mean, look through there. It's just gorgeous. And all the paths, the track today is really, we really do say g'day, mate. If you've got some rain today, Lady Pegasus, yeah, we had shitloads yesterday. And the tracks are quite battered from it, but it's great. Like, I mean, those of you who come on these beach walks with me, you know this walk, you know these dunes. The nature's having the best time because of coronavirus. Stories from all over the world, and we don't get the sort of rain we had yesterday, so we're all very, very excited. Yeah, get out of England and come over here. I'm going to make out that Torag is the highest compliment in Australia, Morgan. It's not, but I'm going to make out it is. But yeah, so lots of people have been going for morning and afternoon walks. But the one thing that's been pissing me off is hate to say it, but the younger folk. The last time I came down this track, I was jumping off it into little spots like there to social distance. They were just barreling through, no regard for anyone else on the track. And it put me off wanting to come down here. So I've been coming to this beach, but on different tracks. Like this track's the usual one, as you guys know, but I know you've got to stand and talk to someone for like at least 15 minutes at fairly close range to catch it, but I just think there's just the lack of mindfulness. I don't need to have to deal with that on my stroll. So Park Beach, Carlton Park Beach, turning it on, got a few folk that way, quite a lot of surfers out. The afternoon sun is divine. Some happy beach dogs. Someone's out there sailing. I mean, that's the ultimate way to get exercise at the moment. If you've got a yacht, get out in the river, in the harbour. It's pretty easy to social distance in a boat. Massive thunderstorm, Lady P. No, it's not that hard to keep a little distance. You're right. Yeah, Cure song by Moby for sure, Reese. I love Moby. Moby played here, God, I don't know how many years ago it was now, but it was at the Falls Festival, and it was so amazing, and it was this really warm summer's night. And he played, I think he might have even brought in the new year. And I mean, I have danced my ass off to Moby for years. But to actually get to see him live was just like one of those bucket list things, even though he's a bit of a dick. Hey, Bazza. Bazza, where's Shazza? Oh, here she comes. Look, because he's with me. Look who's up there. And there's some other slapper up there too. That must be Kazza. Bazza, looking good, mate. Looking good, getting ready for a night out with the ladies, by the looks of it. Having a bit of a bath. Shazza, as always, playing hard to get. And Kazza in the background, seeing an opportunity for sloppy seconds. Did I just say that? Yes, I did. Do people do metal detecting on this beach? I haven't seen anyone on this beach, but funnily enough, I did see someone on another beach around the corner the other day, and I was actually wondering what she was doing. Hey, Shazza, you go and have a bath. Go wash your lady. Bazza's ready for some action this evening. Yeah, I couldn't work out what she was doing, and then on closer inspection I was like, holy shit, that's someone with a metal detector. I have not seen a metal detecting person for years. Now it's a bit brisk in terms of the temperature of the water, but I'm social distancing. Got two girls walking towards me, each with a dog, doing the same thing, which is nice to know, but as a result I've ended up in the hallelujah drink. Howdy. Yeah, Moby was killer, man. Honestly, it's so good. The ocean is looking gorgeous there, isn't it? It's stunning, Lady Pegasus. Don't forget Dazza, he's filming the situation. You love metal detecting. Yeah, I think it's quite a cool thing to do. Like, I remember friends of ours got one years ago when they were sort of first came out, and they were so popular, and we didn't have one, but whenever we went to visit that friend of ours, I'd be like, can I take the metal detector down to the beach? And it was a nice sort of mindfulness activity. Really good downtime, and I don't think I ever found anything other than beer caps, but it was nice just to sort of think you were going to come across some sort of treasure. My godfather, who is no longer with us, who was a rampant alcoholic, used to go around pubs, like sort of a 1k radius of pubs, really early in the morning, and he used to get between 100 and 150 bucks a day. I shit you not. And he told me that when he found coins, he always assumed there would be notes nearby, and he always found notes as well. And then he'd go and blow it all at the pub. And then he'd be up early looking for more money. It was probably half the money was probably money he dropped. Beaches in New South Wales are closed unless you're fishing and keeping this. Yes, I know, that's unfortunate, but some of your people were being really naughty. And even with the beaches closed, like Bondi, and cops and lifeguards asking people to go away, they still kept rocking up. See, we're really lucky down here because so far, apart from a lot of people who came down for their last weekend to their shacks because we had amazing weather, but since that happened from Monday here midnight, every Tasmanian has had to choose to stay at their primary residence. But the Premier did give people who own beach houses, or what we say are shacks, they did have an option to choose the shack or the house, their home, but whichever one they chose is where they have to stay. So like Easter, they're not all allowed to pack up their cars and go to their shacks for Easter. And you should hear the whining. I pay rates. I'm allowed to go to my shack. No, you're fucking not. Like, fuck. There's a deadly global pandemic happening right now. This isn't actually about rights anymore. This is about responsibilities. And, you know, in Tassie at the moment, even though the Australian Prime Minister is saying, you know, this sort of social distancing and everything could continue through winter, which I actually don't think would be a bad thing. But down here, at the moment, we're all basically meant to be self-isolating, and we are allowed to leave for exercise for the next 4 weeks. We're already a week into it. And I feel like saying to these shack owners, you haven't been to your shack for 6 fucking months. And now that you can't go to it, you're carrying on like a pork chop. And maybe offer your home to a homeless family, your shack. Maybe let some homeless people shelter in your shack since you can't be in it. Just blows my mind. The privilege. I mean, even the fact that people are whinging on Facebook about, I pay rates, I'm allowed to go to my shack. Do they know how privileged they sound? Fuck, wouldn't we all have a beach shack? I mean, I'm just lucky my house that I built, I chose to build it near a beach. It's hard to get away from beaches where I live. We're an island, a little one. That's my rant. Far out. An 18-carat white gold ring. Woohoo! Yours is until June. And look, Morgan, I'm watching what's happening in America, and oh my God, I'm worried for all of you. Not because I don't think you guys are going to be responsible and look after yourselves. The people in my channel, I mean. But the reality is the projections for the United States are pretty scary, and people still aren't getting the message there either. The photographs of all the people gathered together in New York when that boat was coming in, and New York, if New York was a country in its own right, it's ahead of Spain right now. Like, I think it may even be close to or surpassing Italy, or projections say it's going to. But, you know, someone's going to know, every single person on the planet is going to know someone who gets coronavirus and or dies from it. That's just a harsh reality of it. So, sending much love to you, and I know you're being super responsible. There's an American doctor. I got really overloaded with information because I'm curious. I'm a curious person, and I'm also a researcher. So I just kept reading stuff till I got overloaded. So I pared it right back and just chose the sources of information that I want. And the ones that I chose, not only are they informative, but they've got this sort of light-hearted way of delivering the bad news. So even though you're listening to the bad news, you kind of feel good about it in a way, because they're not instilling fear or scaremongering. They're just saying these are the facts, but they're also being kind of entertaining and light-hearted as well, if that makes sense. So anyway, I listen to an Australian podcast every morning called Coronacast, which is an ABC Australian, not to think of the American ABC, the Aussie one. Really good little 10 minutes, super informative and a little bit of fun. I watch the press conferences of Prime Minister and our state Premier, who is doing a fucking amazing job. Our Premier, oh my God, he's been amazing. And I watch an American doctor, Dr. Vuong, V-U-O-N-G. And I really want Americans to, well, people in the States, I want you guys to start sharing it on your Facebook pages and asking, like, tagging your family members and friends, and get people watching him, because he swears like a truckie. He's a weight loss surgeon, but he's in contact with a lot of other surgeons who are giving him a lot of information as well. And he's very realistic. He doesn't bullshit. He doesn't sugarcoat. He's like, this is really fucked and it's going to get even more fucked. He's a little bit cocky. But in terms of a source of really good information, but you also feel entertained. You feel like you're hanging. He's saying things that people want to but are too scared to. And he's funny. So yeah, they're my recommendations if you are looking for a couple of ways of accessing information each day without overloading yourself and having a little bit of fun, as weird as it sounds, along the way. Just going to scroll back up. I agree with you, Reese. I think people are, well, I think it's going to affect every single person on the planet, but not all the same way. I think good people are going to become even better people. I think some bad people are going to become good people. And I think some good people are going to become bad people. And some bad people are going to become even badder. But for the most part, I think we're watching the dawning of a new planet. And nature's fighting back. All of us are self-isolating and not polluting. It's giving the planet a chance to heal and repair. And people being kept at home and not being able to see their family members and having to FaceTime. I mean, I said to my sister the other day, can you imagine when the day comes that we're actually able to hug again? Like, isn't that something amazing to look forward to? Like, it hurts that we can't. But instead of getting all bogged down in that, I'm like, I'm just looking forward to the day we can. And it might be 6 months, it might be a year, it could be 10 years, who knows? But I think perspective is kicking in for most people. And the ones that aren't, the ones that are still sort of looking at their own little world and woe is meing, well, then you can't fucking change them. If people aren't waking up and going, actually, this is something the whole planet's experiencing together, so maybe I can stop being a bit of a dickhead and accept that we're all in the same boat. And it doesn't mean that none of us are entitled to be disappointed that we're missing out on things, or like I'm not able to have a drink with my mate Robbie for his birthday this afternoon. And, you know, everyone's disappointed they're missing something. But it puts it in perspective, because I'm like, yeah, it's a shit that I can't do that. But someone right now isn't able to go to a funeral. And someone else right now isn't able to sit with their spouse and hold their hand while they die. So, perspective. I know I'm being a broken record, but And I know you guys are all on the same page. But someone might watch this replay and go, oh, maybe I need to tell my whiny millennial daughter to stop being a little bitch. And sorry, I know some of you are millennials. I do love you. But in Australia, unfortunately, the bulk of the people who have not been staying at home and who have been partying and gathering in clusters are not dissimilar to the spring breakers in Florida and Mexico, right? So I know there's pearls in every generation, but our biggest problem in Australia has been the bulletproof 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, that sort of age group that, I don't care if I get it, I'm healthy, I'm not going to die. No, but your grandma might because of you. Have you thought about that, you little cunt? She said the cunt word on the beach. All right. I agree, Reese. We've had it so easy, and you know, isn't it interesting too? People are stuck at home. I'm going to head back this way. Only because I can't. I've got the sun in my eyes. Well, actually, now that's worse. I can't read the screen very well, but we'll soldier on. But yeah, people are at home now, looking at all the shit they've got going. I never use any of this shit. I haven't touched that piece of shit for the last year, and they're going to start minimalising, stripping back to the basics, what they need to survive. It's happening with their food as well. Like, people are saying that they're starting to just, you know, eat as many fresh fruits and veggies, which is really good for everyone at the moment. If you want to boost your immune system, get the fresh foods if you're still able to go and get fresh food. Doesn't matter if you're not. If you've got frozen veggies or canned veggies, they've still got nutritional benefits. But yeah, people are just, I think, realising how wasteful we are. And I mean, even, you know, I'm not on a massive salary, but I've saved money the last 2 pay periods. I never do. When I'm out and about, for some reason, I get to like Tuesday or Monday of the week that I get paid, and I'm down to my last $50 like everyone else. I'm actually saving money. And I know that'll continue when I'm out of this, because I'm not going to go back to the sort of wasteful part of my life anymore. And I'm a minimalist. I'm not overly wasteful anyway, but clearly I was wasting money on shit I didn't need. Raven, I'm just pissed off at all the fucking idiots. Yeah, me too. I got very pissed off, and I got very down about it, and I'm still pissed off, but I'm not letting it actually impact me physically or emotionally. I just go, yeah, of course they're doing that. I'd love to scream from the rooftops to tell people to stop being fuckwits, but the reality is you can tell them a million things, they're still going to keep doing it, because they're entitled. And whether or not people like our Australian Prime Minister, he made a comment yesterday in his press conference, which I really wish more people had been paying attention instead of just once again ripping him to shreds. Poor man hasn't bloody slept for weeks and whatever, but he said something yesterday that resonated with me, which was, this isn't about entitlement, this is about need. And you know, the government's looking after so many people, and everyone else is standing there going, what about me? And it's like, do you actually need it? Have you still got your job? You know, like, the handouts are for people who need it. Australia is so generous and looks after people that, you know, that are on sickness, disability, unemployment. There's a free healthcare system. But unfortunately, it's created a generation or generations of entitled people. You know, just more and more handouts. And the people that need help right now are getting it. But, you know, like somebody like me, I mean, I wish there was some sort of tax break for people who didn't put children on the planet, but we're not one of those countries yet. We're not that progressive, but I can survive. I'm not putting my hand out wanting a handout because everyone else who needs one's getting one. So they're the people that are giving me the shits too. But again, I just have to remember that the generosity of Australian governments throughout the eras has created this sense of entitlement, unfortunately. Just think, says Lady Pegasus, we're all living in history right now. Some people don't get how serious the situation is. Well, no, they don't, but it's not just going to be this COVID-19. Like, there's going to be another round of this. Australia hasn't even gone into winter yet. And there'll be more bugs of this nature and viruses of this nature. I mean, COVID-19 will do the rounds again next year. There's no way it's impossible now for it to be eradicated from the planet. And it's a hitchhiking virus. So, you know, unless someone in the world ended up being the last person that had it and it wasn't able to hitchhike from them onto somebody else, then it would be bye-bye COVID-19. But that's just not going to happen. You just look at all the twerps that keep going down to beaches and having parties and stuff. Like, unfortunately, there is a percentage of the population who are never going to do the right thing. They'll do the right thing for themselves. They won't do the right thing for the greater good. Morgan. Oh, darling, no. Oh, I am so sorry to hear that. I've been ranting and venting and carrying on. I've only just seen your comment. I'm so sorry to hear that. Due to in New York. I mean, I love New York and I'm so sad to see what's going on there. Like, it's the New York figures are just, like I was saying earlier, if New York was a country in its own right, it's already ahead of Spain. And I don't look at the figures every day now like I was for my own mental health. I know that we've now gone over 1 million diagnosed cases in the world, and I reckon that figure is pretty light on because, you know, it's not possible for countries to test every single person. And that's another thing I'm sick of in the Prime Minister's press conferences, people in chat. More testing. Like, fucking Google why more people aren't being tested. Educate yourselves. We need more tests. Yeah, let's waste a shitload of tests on people that aren't presenting with any symptoms like they did in LA with all the celebrities, and now there's a shortage of fucking tests. All these bloody wealthy celebrities, oh, I'm going to get tested. They weren't showing a fucking symptom, right? If people went onto the Google machine and just typed in the reality at the moment about tests, and they're so close to developing a way quicker test, like, you know, you'll know the results in 15 minutes. Scientists are working around the clock to come up with this more efficient way of testing, but it costs money. And it has to be tested on people that have actually got it to know if it works. And these perfectly healthy, well, they may not be healthy, but these people that are at home without any symptoms at all, screaming to be tested, what the fuck? Have people seriously got fear of missing out for being tested? How warped is someone's brain to think that way? Well, everyone else is getting tested, I'm not. Get a grip. But I am sorry to hear that, Morgan. Sorry, I went on another little rant. It's good for me to do this. I always think on the beach. It's not that my thoughts aren't happy, but at least I can talk about a subject that everyone in this chat, everyone who's walking with me on this peaceful afternoon, everyone can relate, right? So we're all so connected now because of this, which is another positive, I think. Reese. I still think there's something not quite right about this whole thing. Like, it seems too much like a soap opera, the way the media and government are acting. It's strange. That's a really cool observation. I agree, because I think it's unprecedented and none of us have lived through anything like this. And, well, I mean, there are people, older people in our populations who've lived through wars and stuff that can remember it. But for most of us, we've never seen anything like this before. So it seems a bit surreal. It seems a bit Truman Show. And as far as how the governments, I think the media is really bad. I think the media I've seen from countries all over the world, not all of them, but a lot of them are very aggressive and very defensive and very accusatory of the politicians. And I don't think that helps. I think they should just be asking straightforward questions and getting straightforward responses, and that's it. But the politicians, the one thing I've been saying to people is that this is an organic event that is unravelling for all of us at the same time. And the politicians that are putting in so many hours a day speaking with other world leaders and all their state premiers, for example, in Australia, and then all the premiers are speaking to all the mayors, and they're doing a pretty fucking good job, I think. But it's not like they've been given this information 6 months ago and we're only learning about it now. Like, yes, China did fuck up majorly. It's a really good episode on the Australian 60 Minutes channel on YouTube, if any of you want to watch it, from, I think it was probably Sunday night, but Tara Brown's the interviewer speaking to a pandemic expert in New York. It's a 20-minute show. It's worth watching. And she talks a lot about what happened in China, the magnificent fuck up there, but also the magnificent downplaying of Donald Trump, and how those two things, at the end of the interview, she's actually asked who's responsible, and she says two people, the president of China and Donald Trump. So have a watch of that, because I mean, she's an American. This isn't an Australian saying that. That's an American. But have a look at it. But yeah, I think you're right, Reese. I think it is kind of a bit surreal and weird because it's just not something anyone has experienced before. But that's part of my fascination for it too. Reese, I think they know something we don't. Oh yeah, I don't. I'm not going down that road. I mean, I think they have to moderate some information because a lot of people inherently just go into fear and panic, and the reality is you've got to give them the information without scaring them, but the information they've got to give everyone is fucking scary. So I certainly agree that the Chinese government held things back, and I also think Trump was irresponsible downplaying it to Americans. And I wish I brought my water bottle with me. Hang on a sec. Dry cough. It's not corona, I promise you. Trump downplaying it was irresponsible as well, and then doing a massive backflip, and by then it was already starting to spread around America like wildfire, like it has everywhere else, except for in the populations of countries like Australia, where we're still in summer and autumn. But you wait, Australians, you wait to see what happens when winter arrives. For some reason, the coronavirus thrives in cold climates. I feel for all the Americans too. Even the doctors over there are fearful of what is coming. America's not perfect. No, well, they're not. I think the figure from Dr. Vuong, who I watched the other day, his projection is 1.5 million known cases by Easter. So Dr. Vuong is great. There's another American doctor that a friend of mine told me I should watch, but I feel like I've kind of reached my maximum for doctors that I want to watch. But there's another doctor who is so contentious that, here comes some young people who haven't moved a millimetre. Why would they? I don't really have to go out knee deep to put enough distance between. Not that, again, like it's not like I'm going to stand and chat to them for 15 minutes. But, you know, it's a beach. There's space. Get out of people's way, you fuckers. Yeah, there's another American doctor who is incredibly vocal, critical of Trump. I feel the woman, the pandemic expert on 60 Minutes, the one in New York, I feel she's put her life in danger by blaming Trump as well. But this guy apparently has security guards around his house because he's getting death threats. And all he's doing is telling the facts. And like Dr. Wong is, if you're armed with the facts, if you know what you as an individual needs to do to protect yourself and your family, you're going to be okay. And so it's really hard to be delivering bad news and statistics and everything else, but also trying to keep people calm so that they follow the advice. And it just sucks that the majority of the planet needs to kind of be spoon-fed. Well, not the majority, but so many people need to be spoon-fed. So I don't know, I think there's a pretty hardcore juggling act that has to go on with governments and scientists and doctors and everyone who's talking about it in a public forum, because you're relying on human beings to be reasonable and rational, and at a time when they're being given some pretty grim news. I feel like I should scroll down through chat. Oh, 66 is very young, Morgan. So sorry, my mum was only 60 when she died. It's too young. Raven, you're scared. Yeah, and that's a perfectly valid, as horrible as it is, reaction to this. But again, I think the only advice I can give you is that everyone is going through that too, at different stages. Fear is perfectly warranted right now. But I would recommend, for people who are experiencing a lot of fear and are scared at the moment, do find a source of information that you're comfortable with and stick to that and leave all the other stuff alone. Have time off social media, because there's a lot of rumours and a lot of bullshit flying around there. Find an expert. And I'll mention this guy again because, I mean, I like him and he swears and he's pretty cheeky. But it's Dr. Vuong, V-U-O-N-G. Duc is his first name, D-U-C. He's American, but he's clearly got Vietnamese heritage. I think I knew about 12 Duc Vuongs when I was living in Vietnam. But find someone that's going to give you the information so that you know exactly what's going on, and they're also reminding you of what you need to do for yourself, and you won't be so overwhelmed, because even though all the big figures and everything, and watching it sort of spreading around the world is daunting, if you reel it right back into your world, you can actually control your own world and where you feel safe, and he's really good at giving you that information, but also letting you know what you need to do as an individual. And I think that that's helped me a lot. But the other thing that's helped me a lot is I've just switched off from a lot of social media. I still like popping onto Facebook and touching base with friends, but I've also got to moderate it a bit, because the other day I'd been live on YouTube. I felt a little bit battered by some of the people in my chat, and then I had like 30 people contacting me on Messenger, and I was just overwhelmed. I was like, I'm always more than happy to chat to people and hold their hands, but it was just too much, and I just couldn't chat to everyone. And then I got a lot of messages asking why I hadn't responded to stuff, and I'm just overwhelmed. I've got a lot of people for some reason all messaging me and calling me on the same day, and You just have to self-moderate a bit. Because trust me, there's other days when someone pops up on Facebook and I'm just like, yes, I really want to chat to this person. But you be your own sort of moderator of your life. Yeah, Morgan, I know you can't go to the funeral and it's sad. I mean, you would know that I went to a funeral on Friday online, which was odd. It wasn't a coronavirus death. As much as I really wanted to reach through my computer screen and give my beautiful sister a hug, I was so thankful that we were actually able to watch that. I'm well aware that people that are dying of COVID-19 around the world are not even getting funerals. I mean, some countries now, as horrible as it is, they've got so many dead bodies, they just have to bury them all or cremate them all, which is horrible. I'm incredibly grateful that I was able to farewell Bonnie, even if it was online, and we'll have a memorial or something for her down the track. It's so sad. And I mean, the thing that's really breaking my heart with people that are dying is because it's such a contagious virus. They're dying on their own, and that just breaks my heart. But it also breaks my heart that now doctors in New York are going to have to do what they've been doing in Italy and Spain, and they're going to have to decide who gets treatment and who doesn't. And look at these young people social distancing. They're not local. Only locals are meant to be down here now. Actually, every single person I can see at the moment on the beach doesn't live here. Oh, except for the guy that just jogged past. I know him, but I know his face, but other than him. I'm only sitting for a moment too, because we're only meant to go out and exercise and then head straight home, so me sitting on the beach for too long is not a good look. I just want to quickly catch up on chat and then I'm going to end this. Reese, they should make tests available for funeral attendees. Yeah, it's more complicated than that though, mate. The funeral homes can't even have funerals for the number of people that need to be buried. It's past that point, unfortunately. I mean, it might happen in smaller places that, don't have high statistics, but yep, she's not local either. We're meant to dob all of these people in. That's what we've been told to do. They make you show your license, and if you're not local, you get a fine. I mean, it is a lovely idea, Reese, but I do think a lot of countries, unfortunately, are at a point now that the funeral homes can't even catch up with making coffins. Mindless garbage on the BBC. Yeah, I bet you want to punch some of them, and they are selfish assholes, Ivor. Save Robbie! Oh my god, hello gorgeous. Freezing cold for you. Music quiz on your local radio. Enjoy, Ivor. I hope you do win, let us know. Reese, I'm disabled and awaiting a back operation, getting basic benefits. At least 4 people I know getting actual disability benefit. There's nothing, yeah, that's disgusting too. Lady Pegasus, I'm not a ScoMo supporter, but he has stepped up and doing a damn good job in these uncharted times with little sleep and the stress of his nation. Give credit where it's due. I agree. I'm racing through these because, yeah, we're not meant to sit on the beach for very long, and I can't walk and talk up through the dunes. Your government will wait too slow to react because you're in the UK, Reese. Yeah, Boris, wow, he started off with the whole herd immunity thing and suddenly went, okay, all right, fuck it. It's not going to work. A little too late. Some of these, oh God, I'm miles behind. Sorry, I'm going to scroll right through. Morgan. Oh, I know they're not required to be at funeral homes. I didn't mean just funeral. I just meant the funeral industry. And the way, unfortunately, I mean, you just have to look at Italy with all the coffins lined up, and they're not even making coffins quickly enough to put. It's more that I was saying, not just that you have to be at a funeral home. It's just, I mean, I hope that your relative is sent off in the style that he deserves and as best as can be in the current situation. Sometimes when I say things, I'm not just being, I'm kind of like looking at chatting. I'm not being specific for one thing. I was trying to be sympathetic, Morgan, not upset you. Yeah, there might be some dobbing in happening, but I'm speaking of being dobbed in. I could easily be dobbed in too, because yeah, we're not meant to do what I'm doing right now. Plus, there's an unusual amount of people now starting to arrive, and I want to get the fuck away from them. So, not that it's likely they've got it, but I don't even want to be here now. I love you guys. Please take care. Morgan again. I didn't mean to upset you. If I did, my statements aren't always all-encompassing. I'm just chatting. And much love to you. It's a horrible time for you, and I feel for you. Take care, everyone. Look after each other. Be kind, and yeah, we're all in this together. We're one big global community. So I feel the love spinning around the world. I think people are going to be much closer and kinder because of this. And as horrible as it is, if that's the sort of thing that comes out the other end of this, then not that it's been worth it, God no, but I feel that as human beings, sometimes something really bad has to happen for us to learn a lesson. And again, I'm not wishing this on anyone, but if the world ends up being a better place, then I guess that's the silver lining I'm looking forward to. And hopefully for all of us, it's sooner rather than later. Anyway, much love, everybody. Take care, and we'll talk again soon. Stay groovy. I love you guys.